You're a doctor. It's the degree you earned. But your degree, your house, your bank account has zero indication of your sense of self or you're harnessing the power you have to live the life of your dreams. Hello and welcome to the Business of Happiness podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Tarryn MacCarthy, and today is going to be a great day because the journey of being a doctor is a personal development journey if you choose to accept the challenge. It's true. It's not just about becoming a doctor. I mean, that just gives you the license to start this incredible journey. But just like entrepreneurialism, being a doctor, being someone who is in charge of supporting and healing your patients, of leading a team, of growing a business maybe, is all such a beautiful opportunity for personal growth and development, and such a beautiful opportunity to know yourself more. You know, it's so interesting. I feel like we really have a choice. I used to choose a different option, and this is the first option I'm going to tell you about. One option as a doctor, as a dentist, as a leader, as a business owner, is to live your life victimized by everything happening around you. So what does that look like? You know, I remember feeling like everybody had it against me. Everybody did. I mean, I was completely inundated with patients who were angry, taking it out on me, like not even realizing I just wanted to do a good job, but people were just showing up in my office angry. And I thought, oh my gosh, do I want to deal with this anymore? Or, you know, team members who would suddenly quit, or they'd bring up drama in the office, or there'd be a situation where I'd take home the stress of one team member just not really pulling her weight, but me feeling too fearful to let her go because there was such a shortage of support at the time. And I knew in the back of my head that this toxicity in the team was actually negatively impacting the cohesiveness of the whole team, but I just couldn't bring myself to take action. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Really, the choice to see life in that light extended beyond me too. I remember friends of mine. I had a really close group of girlfriends. And one day I opened Facebook and all of them were traveling together and I wasn't there. I didn't even know about it. They were all traveling abroad and had left me out. And I thought, oh, why is this happening to me? That's one choice. And it's so interesting how being a healthcare provider, holding that enormous privilege of supporting our patients through healing, supporting our patients through finding more beautiful smiles or feeling better about themselves or just feeling better in general, gives us a beautiful opportunity for self-reflection. And this is where the personal development journey is so critical and important in being a healthcare provider. In fact, I believe so strongly in this that I wish that this was taught in dental schools and medical schools across the country, because there is a beautiful world in which each patient, each team member, each family member, each friendship that you encounter becomes an exquisite learning opportunity for deeper insight into who you are. And more importantly, the power you, I'm talking to you, the power you have to live the life of your dreams and to stop being and feeling like a victim of your circumstances. It's so incredible. If we choose to look at the doctor journey this way, we realize, oh, wait a minute. look at all these incredible opportunities for me to learn more about myself. I look at it as almost a development of stages. At least this was for me in my life. There was this stage early on, which I like to call this aspirational stage. For me, that was my late teens and early 20s. And this aspirational stage was really looking outside of myself, looking at other people, asking, what can I achieve? What is there? What can I do? What am I drawn to? And what can I accomplish? Right? That's when you're applying to medical and dental schools. That's when you're reaching for residency programs. You're looking at what opportunities you can grab and love and really excel in. And then the possibility of contribution to the greater community, taking care of people. That aspirational stage, we're really looking outside of ourselves to see what is possible. And then we reach this building and honing stage, right? Once you've chosen that path, the question really becomes, am I good enough? Right? And that's where we really start to build our skill set, build our expertise, build our practice. I mean, sometimes it's a literal building, a brick and mortar building that we're creating. We're building our families during this time. For me, my 20s and 30s were all about building wealth, building knowledge, right? Once again, looking outside of ourselves and comparing ourselves constantly. That's how I knew I was doing a good job. I was comparing myself to other people. I was comparing my bank account to someone else's bank account. I was comparing my number of patients in my office to somebody else's number of patients in their office. I was comparing how many days a week I was working to somebody else. Do they have a second home? Do I? Right? Constantly evaluating, am I good enough? Right? Maybe even the results of my treatment. How do my cases look when they're completed? And then we reach this beautiful sweet spot in the healthcare provider journey, which becomes, instead of looking outside of myself for aspirational goals or for assessment, self-assessment in my building and honing, we get to this beautiful phase, which is a choice of self-discovery. Who am I? For me, that hit in my 40s. And it hits, I believe, for everybody at a different time in their life. I heard this beautiful interview with Jane Fonda on a podcast recently, and she said she had that sudden realization, that need for self-discovery when she turned 60. And I was chatting with a phenomenal young woman this morning, a dental hygienist, who had that realization in her early 30s. Wait a minute. Who am I? And where do I fit in this beautiful world, in this profession? And, I think we have a choice. There becomes this moment where we can choose to either just continue to go about the motions, just keep showing up and doing the job and just clock in and clock out, or we can take on a new journey of infusing ourselves, discovering ourselves, and then infusing ourselves into our profession. And that's where the magic happens, because now we start showing up differently. When you show up from a place of purpose, from a place of deep self-knowing, you're so much more capable of healing the patients you're working with. You're so much more capable of being fully present with the patients you're working with. You're so much more capable of leading a team with intention and curiosity and communication and clarity. There isn't a communication technique out there that doesn't require you knowing yourself in order to excel. There isn't a falling in love that doesn't require you knowing yourself. There isn't a success algorithm that doesn't require you knowing yourself. Now, there's a way to just show up and coast. And for some people, that really is okay. For some people, it really is just fine to just show up to work, go through the motions, get the job done, and then leave at the end of the day. But if you are listening to this podcast and you have had the question, who am I? This has all been going on for me now for decades. I signed up for the courses. I took the exams. I got the certifications and the doctorates. And here I sit in front of you with multiple degrees, multiple years of experience, and I don't know who I am. Somewhere she got lost in the shuffle. And this is what a beautiful opportunity medicine and dentistry offers us. Every day we get to choose to pay attention to ourselves and learn more about ourselves. So, when I gave you that example of how I used to feel like I was a victim of my circumstances, literally, and I'm not saying that flippantly. I mean, I really did. I remember saying at one point, my life is chaotic. I felt that way. I remember feeling that way, that I was going from one disaster to the next and just putting out fires. I remember feeling like I didn't know the rules of how to excel at anything. I was just kind of making it by, whether it was in friendships or relationships or my business or dentistry or orthodontics. I just felt like I was just making it. But I didn't really fully feel impassioned. I didn't feel like I fully showed up as myself until I offered myself the opportunity to learn about myself in every single one of those moments. Now, I started to see dentistry and medicine in a whole new light. It was starting to reflect to me who I am. See, because the journey of being a doctor or a dentist and holding space for your patients and leading a team and your own self-preservation, learning how to take care of yourself in all of that is the personal development journey you get to choose. And whether or not you accept that choice is up to you. You can continue telling yourself the lie that other people are making it hard for you or that other people are dictating the success or the outcome. Or you can welcome the truth of who you are. You can find out who you are. And here's the spoiler alert. You are unlike anybody else. And you have capabilities and expertise and a zone of genius that is exceptional and unique. Every single one of you. And that knowing resides inside of us. I believe it resides inside of each and every one of us. Some of us are lucky to stumble upon it, but others of us get to be on this journey of self-discovery. And that's exciting because when I started to know myself better, now I could be a better orthodontist. I became an incredible leader. I became an incredible partner. I became an incredible mother because understanding yourself is a responsibility that allows you to grow into your power. Imagine not being tethered in your self-belief or self-worth to anyone else's opinions, anyone else's expectations, anyone else's perceived limitations of your possibilities in your life. Imagine being untethered to anything society says is possible for you, anything your parents said were possible for you, anything your bank account says is possible for you. Imagine being untethered from all of that. What would you do with your life? How would you live this day? How would it look different? And maybe it wouldn't look different at all from the outside, but it would feel completely different to you from the inside. I think we are so lucky as doctors and dentists to be on this journey, because we get that reflection from our patients on a daily basis. On a daily basis, we're confronted with end of life, significant long-term health concerns, chronic pain, acute pain, devastating situations. Our patients are sharing these beautiful, vulnerable spaces with us on a daily basis. We're getting opportunities to connect with other human beings in intimate, vulnerable ways that most people don't get the opportunity for. And what do so many of us do? We shut down. We create a wall. We create a separation and a refusal to allow that beautiful insight to find and discover who we are. But there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity to learn. And when you do, success is unstoppable. Happiness is unstoppable. The impact you can make on the community, on your patients, on your family, on your team is unstoppable, unlimited, limitless. That is why the personal development journey is so magical. It goes both ways. We have this opportunity for our profession to teach us about ourselves. And we also have the opportunity for our deeper learning and understanding about who we are to have greater impact. And I don't think it's a mistake. I don't think it's a cosmic error that we go through this moment in our lives when we think, wow, who am I? Who am I? I'm not the accolades or the certifications or the labels that other people recognize. That's not me, right? Who I am is so much more than my title. So then who am I? If all of that was stripped away, who am I? You know, when you have met someone in the past, and maybe you have been a patient yourself, and you've met a healthcare provider or of some form who has just been so present with you, so self-confident in her worth, so self-confident in her knowledge, and so willing to support and help you in this moment that you just felt this energy around her. And you thought, gosh, I just want to be around her more. The wisdom that you felt from her. That's what I'm talking about, because wisdom requires self-understanding, requires a sense of self. Wisdom isn't just learning books, learning all the data. I mean, we have AI to do that for us now, right? We can't even begin to compete. But the wisdom is something that AI could never, ever match. And the wisdom, I really believe, comes from this personal development journey. So why do we need personal growth and development as doctors? Because it makes us better doctors. It makes us better humans. It makes us better leaders. It makes us better at understanding and knowing ourselves, and allows us to not be victims of our circumstances or the economy, but actually to thrive in any situation. So I ask you just for a moment to reflect for yourself. What do you need to know about who you are? When I ask that question, who am I? What comes up for you? Who are you? And if the first thing you say is, I'm an orthodontist, I'm an orthopedist, I'm an ophthalmologist, if that's the very first thing you say, I ask you to dig a little bit deeper. Oh, well, I'm a mom. Okay, but who are you underneath your titles? And that's the beginning of a personal growth and development journey, is having clarity over who I am. And once you have that beautiful clarity, now you show up differently. Now you show up with a conviction that is unshakable and absolutely available to each and every one of us. Because if there's one thing I know, it's when you feel good, that's when you can do good. Thanks for hanging with me today, guys. It's always a pleasure. Absolutely one of my most favorite things to do is to bring this incredible wealth of knowledge onto this podcast and to share it with you, and then to hear from you what insight it has given to you in your life. So thank you to all of you who reach out and send me messages. It is amazing and heartwarming, and every single time it just reminds me of why I do the work that I do. And remember always that you are so much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. Take care.